Hi guys, how's it going? Danny here. Okay, so uh, I'm going to talk about sleep training, I guess. Okay, that sounds really like, okay, you don't know what she's talking about, but I'm going to talk about what I have been doing. Beck is about 6 months old now. What I have been doing that may not be conventional, may not be liked by other people, but hey, you know what? Everyone is different. All babies are different. All parenting is different. Everyone does their own thing in order to stay alive, keep their babies alive, and to stay sane. So let's get into this. All right. Um, there's going to be more than one video on sleep training because I actually haven't officially started sleep training yet. I know that is horrible maybe to some people because between the ages of 4 and 6 months sleep training should be like something that should have been done. Beck is going to be 6 months on the 25th of this month, and which is crazy. Side note, but it's crazy. And we have not had official sleep training exercises, if you will. The reason being, and I don't think there actually is like a deliberate reason, it's just what has been working for me, and maybe it's not working, it obviously isn't, but I guess it really doesn't matter because I don't, it's just Beck and I. Yes, his dad and I live together, but we are not a couple, he works away, and that's a whole other thing, but it's not that we don't get along, it's just like it's primarily just Beck and I, and we need to figure things out, and we're also sharing a bedroom, and it's Beck and I all the time, and you know I kind of do what I need to do in order to kind of get by and make sure he's thriving and make sure I'm thriving, and that as long as he is sleeping and getting enough sleep and getting enough to eat during the day, and I'm getting my workouts in, I'm doing like what I need to do to stay sane, then quite frankly that is good enough for me for now. Like that's what's allowed me to survive, so that, you know, again, he's eating, he's thriving, we're nursing, he's going on to solid foods, he's sleeping throughout the night. He's been sleeping throughout the night for at least 3 months now, and when I say throughout the night I mean straight up between 10:30 and 11, sometimes 11:30. It's only because like if it's too hot or he's overstimulated or whatnot, or like I effed up on a nap time or whatnot, or I let him sleep too long, or I wasn't recognizing the signs, whatever. Between the hours of 10:30 and 11:30, yes, I understand it's late. He'll sleep until about 8:30, sometimes 9. And I made the mistake of allowing him to sleep a little bit longer just so I can get some work done, and that is selfish of me. I get that. And that was probably unnecessary, so it totally like fucked me up. But since we're not actually training, I didn't really think too much of it. But now it's probably gonna bite me in the ass. So anyway, I'm going to talk about co-sleeping for a second because that's basically what we do. And from what I'm understanding, co-sleeping, from what I've read, saw, and what I've been told, is co-sleeping is anytime the baby is sleeping in the room with you. Not necessarily in the bed with you, but in the room with you. So in the room currently, it is obviously my queen-size bed, bassinet, and then like 2.5 feet away is the crib. Like it's a very small room, and all of these things are in here. The crib he doesn't use at all. He's used it maybe twice for a nap, but it's basically right now, and has been forever, used for toy storage. And like his pillows and like his boppy pillow and picture frames and things like that have been kind of stored there. And I also have an extra mattress down there. So, because it didn't have like a wonderful mattress before, so I have 2 mattresses on there, and probably doesn't need that. But the point is, he has not been sleeping in his crib. When we move to the new house in a few weeks, he will be in that crib. The first couple nights, he'll most likely be in the bassinet or in my bed with me for my room until we transition, because it's already going to be a new environment. It's going to be, again, it's just going to be him and I anyway, but it's going to be in a new house, a new environment. It's probably a different temperature, the different surroundings, everything's going to be different for him. So I'm going to keep it as close to the similarities as possible. So he will be sleeping in the room with me for the first however long. Just gonna try not to make it too long. But anyway, back to co-sleeping. We have been co-sleeping in the same bed for the majority of it, and the reason is because sometimes like I'll just nurse him to sleep, and I know that that's not right. I should be nursing him or putting him like reading to him, which is what I'm doing. I do read to him while he's nursing, and he'll just kind of pass out. And he shouldn't be doing that. I know he should be kind of like almost asleep, and then I should be putting him to the bassinet. I know that. So whatever you're gonna say about it, keep it to yourself. I get it. I know it. Okay. I know that's my bad. I know that's my bad. Like he should be at the point now where he should be able to sleep. However, this is not how it's been. So, my goal and my goals have been, and they've been pretty good. Like I'm pretty good about keeping him on a nap schedule between the hours of 10 and 11:30, because when he gets up around 8:30, sometimes or even earlier, but 8:30, it's change, tummy time, or some sort of activity, and feeding. We generally have like, I'll put him up, bring him outside if it's nice, and I'll bring him outside just to kind of wake him up a little bit. We'll put on trolls, some sort of a stimulus to kind of have like our tradition, and then we'll nurse, and then we'll do an activity, and then most likely go outside for a walk, and then we go for a nap. Sometimes he'll fall asleep during that nap, or during that walk, and then he'll be back inside the house, and he'll be napping for like another 20 minutes. So like I'll count that nap time in the stroller, and then we'll do another activity, and then I like to have him for his longer nap between the hours of 2 and 4. Now, that is not always the case. Most parts it is, but for the last few months, we've had immunizations, other doctor's appointments, follow-ups, like pediatric follow-ups, nurse follow-ups. I've also been selling my house, so there's been a lot of viewings. There's been meetings with a realtor, showings for the new house that like we're looking at. So, and we can only go a certain time. So, and banking appointments, things like that. There have been interruptions in that schedule, but sometimes he also still falls asleep during that time, because I try and schedule as close as possible outside of that so we can get home during that time, but I can always make it for that time, right? So it's been kind of messed up that way, and that is my fault, but I'm doing the best I can regards to scheduling, like what the proper schedules are for doctor's appointments and things like that to maintain our schedule. But if we can't get the 2 to 4 hour window, and he, like, say he falls asleep at 4 and he won't get up until 6 or 5:30, then that's okay. Sometimes I'll have another nap between 7:30 and 8, which is not ideal because he should be going to bed. I should be putting him to bed between 8:30 and 9, and that's still kind of late. But with that, we've been kind of like, sometimes I'll just let him nurse or feed or whatnot, and then like he'll just fall asleep at like 10:30, and I'll go into the bedroom, and like we'll just like turn everything out here, and then go to the bedroom, and I'll have the TV on and watch something low, like kind of monotone, or I will, and he'll nurse, and he'll just pass right out, or I'll put on my I can't even think of this lamp, but it's like just the mini nursery lamp. I can't remember. I don't even know what it's called anymore. But anyway, so I'll have a lamp on, like a little mini lamp, and so I can read to him. And we've been reading Harry Potter or any other story, so he'll be nursing and I'll be reading. He'll fall asleep, or sometimes I'll read him out here, and then he'll fall asleep. Not always nursing, but he'll always fall asleep. He'll fall asleep, and then or almost fall asleep, and then I'll bring him in. But I have not been consistent. I know that I have not been consistent. What I have been consistent on is allowing him to sleep on my boob, which is not appropriate, right? I know I need to get better at that. Like he can't use my boob or use feeding as a way to fall asleep. He has to fall asleep on his own. And I think we're on the right track for that. We are getting to bed. We're trying to get to bed a little bit earlier, so I'm trying to physically put him in the room a little bit earlier. But with the last couple of weeks, it has been bloody hot. Like, for real, it's been bloody hot. I mean, when Cara was here for the week, it was so hot at 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, there's no way. And like through all the day, like it was just hot. Baby couldn't sleep properly. Like he was intermittent through the naps. He was overtired. He was wide awake, overtired, but not cranky. We're also starting him out on solid foods, I'm starting him on solid foods, so we've kind of been off that way. But 10 o'clock at night, I took the dog and him out for a walk to cool down. And then as soon as he was done, like 10:30, came in. Yes, he did nurse a little bit, but that was just to kind of to keep him full, and then he'll sleep. He sleeps for like 8 to 9 hours, and it was just to cool him down, and then we were out. Like, he was done. Like, he was out, so he just needed to cool down. So like there have been a lot of things going on. Um, you know, and I've also been like kind of fighting with his dad, and like it's just been a lot of things. So anyway, I don't right now. He's napping. He's been napping for. It's like he's napping. He's been napping for about an hour now. We went out for a run or a walk and into the park, and he's been napping for an hour now. So this is outside of that window, but he fell asleep before 4. Like it's just hot. It's overly hot right now, and I'm doing all of like I'm not saying this in defense, but like we're doing all the things. Like he is, and I understand different households have different times, and it just works for when it works. Okay, I understand that I need to sleep train him, and he will be sleep trained to get earlier, because if I keep putting him to bed at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, it doesn't give me any private time. It doesn't give me any alone time, and that's going to drive me crazy. But right now, it's just him and I anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. But when we get into summer, when we get into the new place, and we get settled, and he gets his own room, he gets some independence, he needs to be able to have that. But since I'm always coming into the room anyway, because it is my bedroom, or our bedroom, I have to go in there to sleep, I have to, like, it's just, he's going to be overstimulated, and I want there to be segregation between us. I don't know if I really want that. Yes, I do. There's going to be some segregation, and he needs to be prepared for that. So, but we're leaving in a few weeks, and I understand that I can get this working, hopefully within, if I do it for a week straight. Whether the weather cooperates, I'm not going to blame the weather, but it does play an impact. And his dad's home now, so for the next few days, and it does throw things off, so I don't really think there's any point of trying to do a sleep training thing right now when his dad's here, because like it just throws everything off anyway. And like he's in and out of the house all the time, so it's just whatever. But anyway, as long as he's eating all that he needs to be eating, like he's sustained, he's not underweight, he's extremely healthy, he's getting enough sleep, he is getting his nap, he's getting stimulated, he is developmentally on track. That's really all I care about at this moment. I'm not overly concerned about the sleep schedule. As long as he's getting proper, like I said, as long as he's sleeping well, he's getting proper naps in the day. Yes, he's going to bed a little bit later, but he's still getting 8 hours of sleep. When he was, like last week, he was eating, like we had him on solid foods, or I had him on solid foods. Like, he was having a couple like dirty diapers in the middle of the night. Like I would change him, he would still be sleeping, and I'd be changing them. But I'm so in tune. He was in the bassinet because Cara was here, so she sleeps on the bed. He sleeps in the bassinet. That's just how it does. I don't want the baby and the dog sleeping on the same bed while I'm while I'm sleeping. And it's not because I don't trust her. It's because she's still a dog and she likes to roll over. And like it's lots, like just too many factors in there. So she gets her time, her space, I get my space, he gets his space, we're all good. But when she's not here, and he's not sleeping in his bassinet, a lot of the times I will put him in his bassinet, but sometimes it's just easier for him to go to the side. And when he goes off to the side, he's got so much space, and I know my baby, he doesn't really move. There are no blankets around him. The only blanket he will have will be a swaddle blanket, but it's tucked underneath him, but it's at the very end of his body. And because it's so hot, he doesn't really need it. And he just sleeps spread out. There's no pillows around him. There's no nothing. He's not distracted. There is a little bit of space between him and I actually don't move when I'm sleeping. Like, I'm a pretty consistent, like, do not move in the same position type of sleeper. But I'm also very in tune with him. So if he's moving around or squirming, I will wake up. Like, I am not a deep sleeper at all. So that's how it's been going on. I did that when he was in his boppy pillow. Like, he would sleep on his boppy when he was first born next to me on the bed. I'm sure that's common with a lot of new moms. But so that's kind of how it's been going. And then, if I'm really in tune, I will transfer him from me. If he falls asleep on the pillow on my lap after he's nursing, or if he's just kind of sitting there with stimulator or reading, and he falls asleep, then I will transfer him to the bassinet next to the bed, and then he'll just fall asleep there. Um, the other night, I actually did transfer him to the bassinet before he fell asleep, and that didn't really work out. It was so fucking hot. That didn't really work out. Um, so I just rocked him, and then I read him a nighttime puppy book, and then brought him back to the bedroom, and then he fell asleep again while he was on my lap. And so that's just how it works for us. He likes to be close. He likes to fall asleep that way. So I'm gonna leave it, and I'm not gonna apologize for that. That's kind of how it's been. I do know that it's gonna kick me in the ass when I actually try and sleep train him, but he's a pretty independent kid. Um, like he's a baby, but he's a pretty independent baby. He doesn't fuss a lot, and he's pretty content. Like he can wake up and like just kind of sit with his soother or kind of look at the wall or do whatever. Like he doesn't bawl his eyes out. The only time he ever does that, really, honestly, is if he has a poopy diaper and he's like, "Hello, I've been sitting here on that poopy diaper. I need to get out of here." So that's kind of how it's been. And like right now, he's sleeping. He's sleeping on the bed, arms spread out. There's nothing near him. Like he doesn't move. Uh, if he's on the couch, he falls asleep. Yes, there's something. There's a pillow or something that there. I'm not gonna make excuses. I'm not gonna try and defend myself. But I'm just saying, like that's kind of how it is. So when it comes down to I'm gonna try the fervor method, which is a 3, 5, 10, 10. I'm gonna try that next week. I mean, I'll try it later in the week. Like after his dad leaves, because I don't know, like maybe I'll try it later this week. I want to have it a significant or a set time period of when I'm going to start this, so that I'm prepared for it. Because I need to be prepared to get him down for his naps. It's kind of hard. I'm not to say schedule, but I'm trying to figure out a way to. Because his naps, he's pretty good with his naps. It's just the nighttime, like getting him in earlier. So maybe I have to, like, be diligent this week. Like you are having your naps between the hours of like the afternoon nap might be a harder one. Like the early morning one, it's actually pretty easy to determine when he's gonna fall asleep. But it's the later afternoon couple hour nap thing that may have to be adjusted in order for me to adjust getting him to bed earlier. Because my ideal time for him to be in bed, like going forward, like we're in the new house going forward, so that I can actually have some personal time, you know, like have guests over, or like just to have my personal time to work or write or just watch Grays or whatever it is, or clean up, just wrap up for the day, would be about 7:38 would be my ideal time. But for now, he's going to bed when he needs to go to bed. So maybe later this week I will try it, and then I will document it. But that's just kind of where I'm at. So I've been co-sleeping, like co-bedding, co-sleeping, and I think that's okay. To be honest, I think that's okay. Every parent needs to do what they need to do. Every parent knows their baby. So follow what feels right to you and what feels right to your baby. And as long as your baby is healthy and fed and warm and comfortable, and you're not going crazy, and everybody's getting sleep, and he or she is not in danger, and you're not in danger, you know what I mean? Like if everyone is comfortable, safe, happy, do what's right for you. Okay? I understand that there's some some medically scientific medical and scientific explanation or backing behind certain behaviors and certain methods. Totally get that. And you know what? I do follow those things for milestones and stuff like that. Like I try to, help him. I'm trying to help him with tummy time. That takes a little bit longer. Like rolling over and, kind of using your core muscles and, helping him stand up and stimulating him with different types of toys, talking back with them, all of those things. Like I'm totally with you on that. I will follow as many guidelines as possible on that. But when it comes to sleeping and making sure what's right for your baby, in order for everybody to get enough sleep, you will figure it out. We will figure it out as we go. It's a day-by-day thing. I totally believe that. It's a day-by-day thing. And you just have to kind of roll with the punches and just have, like, enjoy it, because, you know, they're only so little for so long. And you're going to have good times, you're going to have bad times. I mean, like, I have a hard time. Like, I hear him crying, and I see him crying on the monitor. Like, I can't, it's hard for me to kind of leave him for, like, for 5 to 10 minutes, but it's okay at the same time. Like, I can tell the difference between crying and trying to communicate. Does that make sense? Like, when they're crying and, like, going, like, completely off the rails, like, just losing their shit, you're like, okay, I'm gonna go in and check on you. But if they have their passy in and they're just talking, like kind of doing that kind of stuff, and they're fine, if they've been fed, they've been, like, fed watered, and they've been fed, they've been changed, and they're completely fine, like, there's nothing physical that you need to do to them or do with them, then cool, then kind of let them stress out a little bit. So I'm doing okay with that mentality. Now it's just a matter of sleep training thing. But and that's also another thing why I find it's going to be a little bit harder to do it with his dad here, because you know, no disrespect to him, I care about him a lot. However, when Beck cries, he's all up in it, and he's like, I don't like him crying, I want him doing this, I want him doing that. It's like, okay, no, just leave him alone. Like, and he, like, loses his mind when he cries. Like, I almost have to ban him from the home, because it's just like, you're too much. Like, it's just too stressful. Like, just so I can't do my job if you're not gonna do your job. If you're gonna, like, lose your shit, like, I just, no. He's like, he wants this, like, no, he does not need any of that, right? Like, I don't care what you think he needs, or what I think he needs to learn how to self-soothe. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain things like that. So, I can't have that. I need to be able to do it on my own. No disrespect to him. Dad, you're good, but just go away. Mom needs to figure this out. But, so yeah, again, no disrespect to him, but, it's just, he freaks out a little bit more on his crying than I am. But, it does break my heart a little bit to know that I can soothe him just with the holding, but I know that he'll be better off with just trying to figure it out on his own. So, anyway, that is it's kind of long-winded, but that's kind of what I wanted to first say about co-sleeping, co-bedding, and sleep training, like my attempt at it. So hopefully, within the next week, I will be able to upload a video of me filming or tracking, like, hopefully a week of sleep training, and hopefully get him onto a schedule. But we will see. I'm going to see how the week plays out, and how he plays out, and how the weather plays out, and kind of see how we do in regards to our schedule. So, because we have to move, so a lot of things are happening, and like, it's just kind of all over the place. And I've got work to do. You know, I got baby to raise and work to do and houses to move into. So it's going to be kind of busy, but I can't let his development slide, right? So I'm going to do my best and kind of see where we end up. But thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate your support and your love and your help, and hopefully I will see you in the next video.